That's how they get you. Only this company could have you feeling so small and deflated and have you perk right up. You finally took that enlargement pill that's been advertised on the side of your screen there, and you're ready to go. I'm very excited for MLB 23. I think there's great reason, and we're going to talk about seven new things ahead of the first feature premiere on Thursday, ahead of the tech test coming next week. It's a good time to be a baseball fan. Leave a like down below. Subscribe to the channel if you guys are brand new, and let's get into it. The first one of which being an absolute monsoon, something we've been talking about for quite some time, and that is the NBL officially coming into MLB The Show. Now, I think it was 2 years ago that Major League Baseball recognized the statistics. So now if you go on Baseball Reference, you can go ahead and see Josh Gibson up there amongst Babe Ruth. And compare their stats, which is really cool. But we got an absolutely amazing announcement. 7 new legends that are going to be joining the fray. That's going to be Satchel Paige, Hank Thompson, Rube Foster, Buck O'Neil, John Donaldson. And that's going to be our first brand new feature because we have a new game mode alert. Back of the box information is here, baby. And we're going to find out more about this on Thursday. We'll have a full recap for it. But from how it looks to me and how they're explaining it on Twitter is that this is Season 1 of Negro League integration. This is Season 1. This is the first year that they're going to come in and tell the story of Negro League Baseball within MLB The Show. So what's going to happen is we have our first crop of legends that includes Jackie Robinson amongst the mix of, Satchel Paige and Hank Thompson there. And it's going to be you playing out big moments, so probably the moment game mode is going to get more use right here. So it's going to be like an ESPN 30 for 30 style narrated story that they're going to tell year by year with gameplay in the middle, living out the moments of these historic players, which I think is going to be really fun. I've been hoping they're going to do something like this for moments for quite some time because it's weird. We look at moments as just playing it for XP and shit. But in reality, you'll have a moment with like Jackie Robinson playing in the 1930s where you're hitting against Logan Webb when you're just supposed to be playing against the Giants. Like, oh baby, I am fucking immersed. It's like I'm really there. Wow, they spared no expense on detail. So I'm hoping that it's going to, and you can see in some screenshots right here of John Donaldson and Hank Thompson, you see the detail is really there, which is going to come involved in another new feature. But you see the collar on the jersey, you see the logos, the licensing with the NBL Museum. I just think it's shaping up to be really good. So I'm very excited for this new experience and how they're going to be able to tell this tale to a lot of people who've never heard it before. Next one is pretty interesting as well. Use captain cards to designate a position player and a pitching captain for your lineup for the first time ever. Unlock powerful in-game boost by meeting criteria unique to these players. So chemistries, in other words, something we've been talking about for a while, something that other, games, the Hut, Mutt, Fut, Lut, and Suck have experimented with in the past. It's coming to DD now, and I'm excited. Again, we're going to have to see fully what they mean by this, but captain cards for a position player and a pitcher. So, on my team, I don't know, maybe Mickey Mantle and Randy Johnson are going to be the 2 captains. And it's talking about unlocking in-game boost by meeting criteria to these players. So if I had to guess, right, like let's say if Mickey Mantle's my captain, maybe I unlock a power boost if I have 9 Yankees out of my 26 players or something like that, or maybe for switch hitters with Mickey Mantle. I hope that they get a little involved with this. I hope there's many different ways to play around with it. It's not like more or less There's like 3 different styles of in-game boosts that you could have based on a player. Like, that's, you know, let's get crazy with it. Let's have boosts dependent on where you're from. So if you're talking about a guy from like the Dominican Republic, maybe you get a boost the more players from the DR that you use, or a switch hitter. It also does not talk about abilities anywhere. I don't think we're going to get abilities like X Factors like in Madden. So kind of thank God that this isn't turning into the MCU, that we're not getting superhero powers. But you're going to get boost on attributes based on who you choose as the captain. I'm curious. I need to see how exactly it's going to work, but it bodes well. Also, here's an interesting one. Continue earning rewards after completing a featured program. Confirmation that we're going to get those back. So the jury's, you know, still out on MLB 21.3, if that's the, you know, working title for this game here. But you're going to be able to spin a wheel whenever you complete a threshold to claim a reward. The more you play, the more you'll earn. I think some people are reading too much into this. I think it's pretty basic. We've had the post-game roulette before, where it has like a bunch of different players, and you have to wait and see if you're going to get the one that you want. I think it's that sort of thing that they're bringing back, and after you complete a program, so it'll just be like every 20,000 XP, you're going to spin a wheel. And so I'm excited if it is like that post-game reward roulette again. Fuck yeah. But fuck you, because that... I remember staring down the barrel of a Mike Trout one time. He was the second to last card to be removed, of course. I think I got some equipment item. You know, hopefully it was a bat to beat my head with. Make me forget about it. Yep, they said the word. They know it exists. I'm probably just as surprised as they were when they figured out that that mode was still there collecting dust. But franchise now includes the new MLB postseason format, 1 year late, the schedule, and more collective bargaining agreement updates. So that doesn't bode well, necessarily. That is one of 2 things that are talked about right here. The other being MLB draft experience having been revamped to add strategy and depth in managing your organization. Okay, so 2 things. We'll talk about the positives first. Is that they're doing something. The MLB draft being something that I don't think it's the light it deserves. Obviously, if you think of like the NFL, the NBA draft, they're bigger because you're going to see those players the very next year. You know, when Bryce Young gets drafted, you'll see him in a couple of months in an NFL game as the starting quarterback. But the number 1 overall pick, you probably won't see for at least a year and a half, 2 years, until they're going to play at all on the major league teams. So I get that, and then the draft in the game doesn't really get too much love. It's very bare bones. You just kind of scout a few players. It's something that personally I skip a lot of the time because I don't think it's very deep. Are we going to get an international pool or something? Because that's very big. You think of a lot of the great players recently, a lot of them have came internationally, and a lot of them don't end up in the MLB draft. So I think that would be another very cool way of adding depth to franchise, but we'll see. Now, not to be too negative here, but I don't think this exactly oozes confidence out of myself. They mentioned it, which is cool, but like the postseason, the new schedule, and the CBA updates, those were coming regardless. I mean, it's a baseball simulation game. If there's one thing that they're going to do is make sure it actively plays like baseball. Like, the rules of baseball are in your game. So, no shit, that isn't, like, the best news. That's one of 2 things that are being mentioned. But who knows? Maybe they have a trick up their sleeve, the ace in their hole, and we're in for a big one. So, we'll see as far as franchise goes. Finally, last couple things to talk about is 25 new legends. Now, I think we saw the first 7 within the Negro League integration right there. So that means we've still got quite a few, and then Derek Jeter being one as well. So if you think 8 out of 25, that's not even a third of the way there. We've got a lot of big reveals coming. I think we're going to see a good mix of stars and, you know, legends. Gameplay trailer and the ensuing legend trailer probably this week or next week. That should be coming, I would think. And then also more depth to uniforms. They talk about that as well. More detail to uniforms and equipment. That could be kind of what we're talking about with the Negro League integration, where they just make everything look more authentic. Finally, they're giving these older players, you know, time era correct cleats and equipment. Which again, I'm never going to be the person who's just going to cry in bed, losing sleep over that this model of glove didn't exist for another 14 years by the time that this player called it quits, by the time he hung up his old cleats. Not a huge deal to me, but it is nice that you get that customization. And again, please God, could you give us presets? Could we have uniform saves in DD? So if you want to change your uniform, you don't have to start from square one, make the whole shit again. Please! I know the PlayStation 5 has the power. You can't lie to me about this, all right? So please, just give it to us. Those are 7 things that we've learned about MLB The Show 23 that I am very excited about. Between seeing Derek Jeter, getting Negro Leagues, which I think are 2 great things. We haven't seen gameplay yet, but those are 2 things to instantly get you hooked, and I'm looking forward to seeing more stuff. I have a feeling that this is not it, at least I hope, because this is typically the back of the box stuff. I'm hoping that there's a good amount of gameplay stuff, because they never talk about gameplay in there at all, which has me both intrigued and a little frightened, so we'll see. But as always, leave a like down below, subscribe if you guys are brand new to the channel. Thank you for watching. Hope you guys have a great day. There comes out, yeet.